Whether you believe the viral threat has run its course and it's time for you to get back to work, or you're certain that staying indoors and practicing social distancing is what you should be doing, you're going to spend a period of time readjusting and recovering from these past few months. Whenever we experience something unexpected that is also unpleasant, it sends shockwaves through the nervous system. It's a watch out, danger ahead signal that is designed to keep you safe. And indeed, all will be well unless you exchange a warning sign and momentary protection for fear and a lifetime of running scared. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with you on Angel Heart Radio. And if you're ready to walk in love and live in peace, then I want you to stay with me, because when we come back, we're going to learn how to step into recovery.
Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice, nor your own sound judgment. In truth, nothing can dim your magnificence. You are a divine spark, a universal light. You are here on purpose. You are part of a divine plan, and it's our joy to support you. We're here to celebrate you. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com.
Great news, everyone. Angel Heart Radio is now live streaming on our Facebook page, and we have a fully searchable, brilliant podcast platform for you at AngelHeartListen.com.
Put the power of the spiritual realm to work in your life with Marcia Martin on Angel Heart Radio starts now.
So just how are we going to begin the healing or the recovery journey? First of all, you've got to agree to receive. You must let go of what was. It doesn't matter what it was. Stop clinging to yesterday, who you were, what you thought was necessary. You just have to be present in this moment. This is the only moment available to you. Whatever you used to do or used to be or used to think or used to have may not be available to you in this moment. Your joy, your peace, and your recovery are only possible when you look at what you have right now, in this very moment. You might have more than you had yesterday. Sometimes you have less. But it doesn't matter what you had before, because you can no longer access it. The only thing that you have access to is the present moment. It doesn't even matter what you feel that you may have in the future. You can't access that either. I want you to get used to living in the now, in the present, and finding things that will bring you joy, peace, and love in this present moment. And when you find them, express the deepest gratitude that you possibly can. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to step away from a world, a place, or a state of being that aligned itself with yesterday, your self, person that you used to say you were. It's time to just let go of whomever or whatever you were and take this time to step into your divine self, into that place of alignment where you can feel the unconditional love of God flowing into you and helping you to replace your fear state with one of peace. That place where you begin to feel completely filled and whole. Archangel Uriel is here with us today. Remember, we always have helpers. Even if you don't know that they're there is somebody or many beings from the energetic realm that are assisting you. Always, always, always. You are being helped. Your job is to accept the help. So Archangel Uriel is here. He's not going to do it for you. He will do this with you. He's going to help you let go of fear because it is absolutely impossible for you to hold on to fear and step into peace. Now, that doesn't mean that all fear situations are terrible, horrible, and should be avoided. Please, we don't want to avoid anything. We want to be aware of everything. So this is not a process of avoiding your emotions or pretending they don't exist. This is an opportunity to look at what you are holding on to or what you are aligning with and deciding whether it serves you. Does it serve your highest good? So if you're in a state of fear, and there's a good reason for you to be afraid because it's helping you recognize you need to take action, you need to do something different in this moment, then move through that fear, move through that situation, and as soon as you're able, get back into your place of peace. Healing and recovery are in peace. But before you can get to the healing and before you can get to the recovery, you might have to move through the illness, the loss of employment, or whatever situation it is that can be kind of uncomfortable. And with discomfort, there sometimes comes fear. That's when you've got to be a really good detective. Hey, is it good for me to be afraid right now? Will being afraid bring me another or better opportunity to be employed, to bring money into my energetic stream? Be honest. If you really feel that being afraid is somehow going to attract the high vibration that you're looking for, which is joy, then try it out. Just don't become attached. Recognize that fear is in a low vibrational place, and joy, which is where the point from which you attract those things that you do desire, is in a high place. So don't be deluded, but do give yourself the opportunity to experience the fear so that you can say to yourself, okay, I already tried that and it didn't work. It didn't feel good. It didn't let me really connect with the divine, and I cut myself off from the help that I needed. So next time fear comes knocking, I'm not going to answer that door. I'm going to look around for the door that opens onto love, joy, and peace, and I'm going to open that door. But recognize that that time that you spent in fear was an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity to learn how to let go of the dis-ease that you are feeling so you can step in to your rebirth. It's the opportunity to recognize your greatness. And always, before we fully accept healing, we have to be ready to move on. So be kind and compassionate to yourself. If you are having a bit of a struggle moving on, get help if you need it. But please, stay out of self-criticism, blame, and shame. That just cements you in the place of fear. So before we're ready to move on, we need to look at the how or the why. Because so many people are in this space saying, well, why didn't God do something? How did this happen? It doesn't feel fair. Let's stop staying in that place of unfair and complaining and take a look. Let's just jump over into the God perspective for a moment. Everything is balanced. Now, that could mean that we go for years and years and years without coming into contact with any new kind of virus or any new thing that will cause our immune system to have to toughen up. But at some point, balance means a new virus or a new immune booster will be introduced into the world. That's just balance. The other way that God looks at it is this life is merely an opportunity to grow because no one ever dies. You cannot cease to exist. The physical body can run out of life force. It can choose to no longer support you. But the only thing that can happen to you is that you transition into your energetic state, the state from which you moved into your physical body. God also knows that growth brings great reward and that you are always safe and loved. And God recognizes that each being has free will. So you can choose to interact with this viral threat, with unemployment, with whatever challenge you want to interact with, or you don't have to. Finally, God knows that the awakened state provides greater awareness and a deeper perspective. And honestly, I don't believe that it is possible for any of us to move into an awakened state without some challenge, some accelerator that is going to push us into the place where we really start digging in to the spiritual world and to who we are. So now let's go to our callers. And the first person is from 408. And I just want to remind you that this is a public airway, so you don't have to give me your given name, but I do want something to call you. So what would you like me to call you today?
Oh, you can call me Way Busy. That'd be fine.
All righty. So tell me, what are you working with in terms of recovery today? What is it that you want to explore with the help of the angels?
Well, I have to say that when I step outside of myself and I see myself, then I'm able to see other people. So maybe for me it would be being careful how I listen and what I listen to, because that might cause me to do something that I wouldn't normally be doing or saying. So I need to be careful in that area. Maybe that's where I'm at.
And I thank you for that really brilliant reminder, because the news media depends on something happening in the world. And since we're all quarantined, the only thing really happening is the virus and unemployment. So what are they going to report about? Well, they can't report about the sky is blue. That's probably not going to get ratings. But if they can make us really get into a fear state, we may become very dependent on that news show and want to listen more often. So we can't criticize them for doing their job or for trying to make themselves as big as they can be. But we do have to recognize that we have a choice, and it's up to us to choose. Do you listen to all of the constant barrage of information, which doesn't necessarily have to be based in truth? I'm not saying that the news media deliberately lie, but I don't know whether they're telling the truth. I haven't seen their information. I don't know the sources of their information always. So do we believe that the news media speak only truth, speak the truth of God, or do we say, I'm a brilliant being, and I can take all of this information and I can decide what is for my highest good, when is it a warning that I need to listen to, and when do I need to just shut this off because I'm getting into that place of overwhelm. So I want to thank you for bringing that forward. Really important. It's not that the news media are doing a bad job or a good job. They're just doing their job. We've got to do the work for ourselves, which is I choose how much I want to take in. And then I immediately go to God and say, which part of this is important for me to interact with?
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
When excuse me. When I'm doing something that doesn't line up with the truth that's in my heart, God shows me when I do these things. And then when I can see myself doing those things, I don't say to God, oh, I thought that was you, God. No. I see myself and I say, oh, forgive me for making it about me. Obviously, that was me doing that. And then I immediately stop doing that and make it about Him, so that in that relationship, He gets to be my loving Heavenly Father who's teaching me the difference between what's right and what's wrong. So I get to grow up in love. And I'm excited because the joy comes from in my heart. And my heart is lifted up on high.
You are making me so happy, and I've got tears are. I got tears. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. For those of you who may have grown up in a religious community, doesn't matter which religion, please take those words to heart. If you don't feel loved by whatever deity or whatever you choose to call the Creator, if you don't feel loved, I want you to take a really deep look at your belief system. Way Busy really put that in a beautiful, beautiful way. God is only love. If you are experiencing something that doesn't feel good, take a moment and be honest and ask yourself, am I participating in this? Have I brought this forward? If you honestly can say to yourself, no, I wasn't thinking thoughts that were negative or incriminating or shaming or blaming, then you need to, you're in a challenge situation, and this is going to be an incredible growth opportunity. But usually you've stepped into the territory of the ego, and the ego loves to blame, and the ego doesn't want you to really understand who you are as an aligned being, because that person is so magnificent that the ego fears that you will no longer allow it to be in charge. And so it starts hopping up and down and having a tantrum and telling you, oh, you're terrible. And it's up to you whether you buy it and blame God, or whether you take a breath and say, what's the truth here? What am I experiencing? How am I interacting? What is my part in this thing that's going on? So thank you for that. Way busy. Yes, 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 yes. Create for yourself a loving relationship with God.
Oh, it is so beautiful. I mean, it is. If you could put these two words together, amazing and wonderful, and they happen at the exact same time, that would be what my lips are talking about.
Yes, it is. I always say to people, you got to experience the energy of the Christ, not the religious Jesus, the energy of unconditional love, because you will not be, first of all, you will not be able to contain it within your being. So, as soon as I step into that place, tears come to my eyes, not out of pain or hurt or disappointment. It's so beautiful it cannot be contained. It's so pure. It's like a symphony of angels. And it is the most wonderful experience that I never discovered through any religious study. And I did a lot of religious study in my period of self-hatred. So I am not condemning religion. I just couldn't get there through that channel. My self-hatred blocked anything that religion was trying to teach me. And it became Jesus interacting with me personally that allowed me to step out of that place. But wonderful and amazing. Yes, we need to coin a new word, and I'm asking the angels, bring us that word that describes you. It's indescribable, and that sounds so foolish because that doesn't help.
It's a the way I put it is this way. I put it this way. There's two ways of looking at it. Well, it's the same, but it's a visible witness of the invisible kingdom of God within inside of each one of us.
Oh, you are on fire today. Wow.
So that joy that you have because you're connected this way is a witness to the people around you. And it's no wonder that some people are getting it and they're really they're just blown away. And other people, well, they turn around and pull their pants down and they do a number on it. And it's like, I can't believe they do that. That's because religious people talk about religion, and I'm talking about an intimate personal relationship, which is different than religion. I know there's religion, but then there's this relationship, and it's different.
It is different, and we're not saying you can't get there from here. In other words, if you love your religion and it brings you into a place where you can have a personal relationship with God, then that is beautiful. The only thing here is the understanding that no container that is outside of yourself can substitute for the intimacy of a personal relationship with God. And as we move out of this quarantine period, whenever that occurs, as we move out, we have a choice to either move out with fear and look at each other with fear and trepidation. Don't come near me. Don't get near me. Or we move out with love and joy and overflowing gratitude for all of the healing that has occurred for the planet while we were quiet. Now, it's so important to remember that God is not a God of lack. So when you step into a personal relationship, you are giving up some of your ego identification. You will no longer want to be that limited person that you used to be.
Yeah.
But you are not giving up your prosperity. That is a religious perspective. If anyone is teaching you, or if you're afraid to step into a relationship with God because you think it means that you have to sell your house and you and your children have to now live in a tent because you were instructed to give all of your money away, you've just substituted your religion for another false belief system, because you need to understand that God is a God of abundance, and it doesn't matter what abundance says to you. That's your choice. Just know that God will meet you where you are. So if you feel that you want to save the world by placing shelters for homeless people all around the world, you can certainly do that. But you will never be able to do that without a very large bank account. So understand that if that's what you really want to do, if that speaks to your heart, you better learn to get really comfortable with the amount of money that would require. Doesn't mean that you have to own the money, but you've got to have access to it, or you're never going to be able to achieve that. So please don't step out of the ego and into lack. Step into balance, understanding that when God is saying, join me in this high place, He is saying, receive everything. Let go of your limitation and receive everything in return. So, way busy, I'm going to put you on the carpet here for a minute. What have you noticed? And let's put this in terms of the recovery, because truly, if you have gone from a state, which it's clear that you have, if you've gone from a state of being asleep and being in a sort of a very ego dark place, for lack of better words, into that place of recovery where you recognize that you are limitless when you do align with the divine, when you do take advantage of everything they offer, how has your physical world changed as a result? Did you mute yourself? Because we can't hear you. Okay, I can't hear you, way busy, for whatever reason. So figure it out. I'm not a good tech guru. Figure it out on your end for me. And so I'm just going to share a story that I noticed for myself. So I shared with you earlier that when I was in my self-hating period, I probably had a more stable job than I do now. Right now, my job is I work for myself and I help people recover from trauma. So in that self-hating period, I worked for various employers. So it would have appeared to anybody from the outside looking in that I was in a much more stable place in my life than I am now because I had that steady paycheck. But because I was in a place of deep self-hatred, I was unable to hold on to any of this abundance that was being given to me through this paycheck. I had disasters and emergencies and things that appeared to be out of my control that would regularly show up on my doorstep to make sure I was basically living from paycheck to paycheck, no matter how big that paycheck got. And the thing that I have experienced is that I am now constantly in a state of abundance and no longer in a state of fear or in the place where I am attracting disasters, emergencies, or any unexpected financial blow. I'm just in a place where whatever I need is either already there or shows up just as I need it. And that is one of the beautiful things that I want us to focus on when we look at this recovery period. We got to remember that sickness is just one form of disease. So think of it not as disease, but of dis-ease, of being out of ease, and being instead in a place of fear, lack, and scarcity. In other words, you've stepped into the illusion that all of us are separate. Or perhaps you've stepped into the illusion that there's not enough. And unless you grab your portion, you and your loved ones won't have any. But we need to remember that truly we are only as strong as our most vulnerable. And when we learn that we can come together from the place of love and acceptance, everyone heals. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. We look at the planet. We all had to become still. We look at the planet. The ozone layer is healing. The animals are becoming freer and happier. The birds are singing. The flowers are blooming. The bees are gaining in their population. Now, I don't suggest that we all have to stay in a quarantine situation, but certainly we can see that we can interact with the world in a more loving way. And by doing so, there will be more for everyone. And that's the most important thing that I want to remind you. It's not well, if Marcia's doing well, that means I need to starve. No. If you are doing well, I can be doing well also, even if we work at the same job. It doesn't matter because there's always a way to receive if you are open to it. We do have to remember that no one is immune to sorrow, so please be compassionate. If you do know somebody that has a family member or a loved one that has chosen to transition at this time, don't just ignore or act like it doesn't matter. We're not immune to sorrow be there with the person while they move through this time. If you are able, teach them how to speak with the person who's in the energetic state. Or if they can't and you can, be an interpreter. Help them see that their loved one is well and that they just have chosen this time because it was the right time for them. Remember that no one is better than another person. Each one is part of the whole, which means everyone matters. And know also that love is the absolute only way forward. If we try to stay in a state of separation, or we try to force or demand, we will have thrown away this incredible lesson that we've been gifted. And all of these people that chose to receive the virus and work through that may have done so without any gain by society. Let's not let that happen to us. We have to remember that fear that unless I get back to work today, I won't be able to live or breathe or care for my family. Fear can only hold us in a place of darkness. I'm not advocating go back to work. I'm not advocating be in the quarantine forever. I'm advocating to be here in this moment and practice being present and grateful for all that you have. Energy can only mirror itself. Fear cannot bring you love. It can bring you the awareness that you are in fear. Often it will bring you more to be fearful about. But it's you and your choice, your imprint upon the energetic field that allows you to raise your energetic stream. No one is held in the darkness against their will. It is always your choice. You may not be aware that you have a choice, but it is still your choice. And with every fiber of my being, I pray that you will become aware and that you too will choose to step out into the darkness. Now, for all of you who are light workers, who have chosen to wake up and have chosen to receive the love, this is your time to shine brighter than you ever have before. This is your time not to brag, not to force your opinion on anyone. This is just your time to shine, to bring love from within you out into the world. This is your opportunity to align in more comprehensive ways and let that love that has filled you flow out into the world. As always, I'm going to ask you to fill yourself first. It's a you first system that God advocates. Now, let me explain why that is not selfish, but absolutely selfless. First of all, everyone is encouraged to align and to connect with God. It's available to each and every person. No one is cut off. It's your choice whether you step into it or not, but no one is cut off. So each and every person is encouraged to align. And each and every person is given the gift of unending, unconditional love. Each person were to align and then allow themselves to be completely filled with unconditional love, the only energy that we would interact with would be love. So that's why God advocates that you first, because you're the only being that people are going to see. When they see you, all they can see is you. Allow that thing they see as you to be love. And you can't do that if you keep emptying yourself to give your love away. Instead, you want to connect with the divine, fill up, and then as you begin overflowing, share that. Always begin with yourself and begin from a place of gratitude. And you may say, well, I can't think of anything that I can be grateful for right now. What about all those essential workers? If you are not an essential worker and your business is closed, you can't go to work, you still need to eat. Those essential workers in the grocery field, in the delivery field, in the medical field, those people who are allowing you to follow the quarantine restrictions and stay out of the way, certainly deserve your gratitude. They made it possible. And because they made it possible, the planet is healing itself. We are all developing an immunity to this virus because whether we are, since we don't live in artificial sterile bubbles, no matter how much we try to practice good health hygiene, I guarantee that we are coming into contact with small doses of this virus all of the time, and we're just slowly building an immunity. So it's very important to begin with gratitude and for whatever it is that you can find to be grateful for. We can't stay in that place where we're begrudging the wrongs, complaining and just going on and on about what's wrong. We want to step into gratitude for everything that we can find that's right, because complaining lives in the same energetic vibrational space as fear. It's that low, dark cavern. And I want you up in that place that Way Busy described to you today. That place of love, joy, and peace. But I do ask one thing from you, and that's if, let's say, that you contracted the virus and that you are recovering, or that you had a really tough time financially, and you can say, well, I'm beginning to, recover, get back on my feet, or, whatever way you're choosing to address this. You to stop the I am recovering speech. Step out of that place. Because if you are always recovering, you're always on the journey to the place where the recovery will finally happen, where that healing will finally become something that you can hold on to. So it's fine to say once, I'm recovering. But once you've acknowledged that you're on this journey of resurrection from pain and darkness and dis-ease and discomfort and wherever it was you were, into the place of love, joy, and peace, your bridge can be, I am recovering. But you need to arrive as quickly as possible. So please step out of the I am recovering place into the I am healed. Begin seeing yourself as healed. Begin seeing everything around you as healed, as your world reflecting the beauty that you wanted to have. See your world in exactly the way you want it to be. Because if you keep saying, one of these days it's going to be ... One of these days can never arrive. Bring the state of healed into this present moment. That's really how you're going to step into your greatness. So you look at whatever anxiety and fear that you had, you look at that dis-ease, and then you consciously get on the journey of recovering. And as soon as you're able to wrap your mind around it and get your heart aligned with the idea, you step off the road and into the place where you are healed. Because you can't be recovering and healed at the same time. So this is your opportunity to step into your greatness. You're being called to share your gift. Start really looking during this time at who you are. How can you serve? Not be a servant to, but be of service. That means sharing your gifts and receiving something for that sharing. Just take your eyes off the recovery, off of the where you were and how far you have to go, and put them right in the place where you are sharing with yourself and the world your beautiful gifts. Perhaps you haven't realized that you are being called to greatness, or that you have greatness within you. But I guarantee you that both of those things are true. You are being called. So what do you do? First of all, you can begin by asking yourselves a couple of questions. What do I do best? And be honest. This is not the time to go into, well, I don't know. I don't really think I do anything well. Be honest. Truthful. Then, after you realize what you do well, and it may be a list of quite a long list, or it could be quite short. It doesn't matter, but put down everything. Then, let's divide our paper up into columns. So the first column will be, what do I do well? The next column may be, what brings me joy? If you are really good at computers, let's say, if you're really good at computers but you hate working with them, then computers would be something you do well, but they would not also be in your joy category. Don't force yourself. You are going to have things that overlap. But first, you make your column. You have 3 columns on your paper. What do I do well? What of those things brings me joy? Or it can be something completely different. Maybe this is something you need to learn. It brings me joy to sing, but I'm not a good singer. Okay, you could take lessons. And then another column, how do I provide service? How can this thing that I do well, that brings me joy, become service to the world? Another way to ask yourself that question is, how can I help? This is where Archangel Uriel will be very beneficial to you. He's the angel of wisdom, and he helps you find your life purpose, which is really what this is all about. So he is encouraging you right now to take your time, to feel your way through it, to go deep, deep, deep. You're not going to find the answers on the surface. This is a deep dive into who you are. And also, be prepared to clear and heal all limiting beliefs or negative thinking that is holding you in a place that is making you believe that you have no greatness within you. That's a lie. Now, we have a caller from 951. Hi there. What would you like me to call you today And what question do you have for the angels about recovery?
Hi, Marcia. It's Nathaniel calling. How are you doing?
Hi, Nathaniel. How are you doing about stepping into recovery? Or do you need the help of the angels to get you into the place where you're ready to receive that into your being?
I seem to be doing a lot better, but I always appreciate the angels' help. They do so much, and sometimes without even knowing.
That's so very true. So why don't we do this together? Let's just do a little exercise together because they want to remind us, first of all, we have got to be really conscious in this time. When we start with any kind of negative nonsense, like I'm not good enough, smart enough, powerful enough, some whatever enoughness, you have to stop that immediately. Just stop it in its tracks and say, angels, please guide me into the place where I am enough. What is it that I can offer? Make your list, do your part. But if you're really struggling with this, ask the angels, especially Archangel Uriel, to help you with this. So here's what we're going to do, something that absolutely everyone can do. And Nathaniel, I'm going to ask you to be my partner in this, just to share with us what your experience is. So we're going to share the gift of healing. Doesn't mean that you need to immediately step into a healing profession. If that doesn't bring you joy, then that is not your purpose or your place to be. But everyone can share a gift of healing. And the beautiful thing is anything that you share, you receive. Because in order to share it, you must first bring it through yourself, fill up completely, and then share your overflow. So Nathaniel and everyone listening, close your eyes and take a couple of deep heart breaths where you're allowing the mind and the heart to align. Always allow the heart to lead the way. Step out of the mind into the heart. Feel the peace of the heart envelop you. Feel yourself expand as you let go of your thinking self and you step in to your divine self that's centered in the heart. Don't try to control it. You don't need to lead. You just need to allow. And now, from the heart center place, create a circle of white light. Allow this to be a sacred circle, a place of unconditional love. And with your third eye, look into the circle and call yourself as you are now, the being that exists right now in this present moment. Call that being into the circle, and Nathaniel, tell me when you've arrived.
Yes, I think I'm there now.
Just allow yourself to be there. And I want you to stand so that your back is to your physical body and you're looking to the outside of the circle. And you will see dropping down from the ceiling, here comes a screen. It's a beautiful luminescent screen, and this screen will allow you to see anything you desire to see. It helps you see areas where you can be of service. Right now, we're going to be of service to the world. So call an image of the world onto your mental screen and tell me when it's there. Do you have the image on your mental screen?
Yes, I'm there.
All righty. So now I want you just to allow the energy of the heart center to flow out from the heart, flowing out from the heart and wrapping around the world. Allow it to wrap around the world. As though you're giving the world a hug. And in this place, flow the love that has flowed into you, out into the world. You can sing the world a lullaby. You can speak loving words to the world. Or you can just flow your love all around the world, encompassing the entire globe, allowing the energy to go where it is most needed. You don't need to direct it. You just need to flow it. And just hold that space until you feel that you're ready to release, that you have given all that you are directed to give. And when you feel complete, just breathe deeply and come on back from that place. Back into your heart, letting go of any flowing out. Just now return your energy to yourself until you are directed to share it again. And just take a couple of deep breaths and come on back into your beingness as Nathaniel. And so, Nathaniel, I want to ask if you can share with others what that experience was like for you.
Oh, really magical. It really felt really good and revitalizing and like a breath of fresh air.
Did you feel that you were limited in any way or that you would be unable to offer this at any time?
No, I didn't feel unlimited at all.
Then you know if you feel unlimited and that it's just flowing through you, you know you have truly aligned with the God presence. Anytime that you're forcing it, just pull back, take a deep breath, do a little more to get yourself in alignment, and then move back out into the healing space. So, Nathaniel, thank you for participating in that today. We need to go to the next caller, but it's always lovely when I have someone to share with. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Marcia. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. And now our last caller, because we're going to be out of time, calling from 347. Hi there.
Hi, Marcia. This is Katie.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm brilliant, and I want to know, what can the angels help you with in terms of, let's stay on the topic of recovery, because we want to make sure that we are understanding how much is available to us. Let's move you from just recovering to healed. How can we get you into that space today?
Well, I have been, I've taken an exam a few times, and I just got my grades for the last one I took, and I didn't pass, and I kind of felt devastated, and I'm wondering, how can I recover from that and just change everything around for myself or in that area.
Okay. All righty. Brilliant. So let's go back to our questions and our chart. Remember, absolutely every experience is valuable. But if it's not for your highest good, you may be prevented from going down that road, even though you believe, oh my gosh, this is the answer. So now it's time for you to really get busy and ask yourself, you know, you've learned a great deal of information. You are like a walking encyclopedia. So you have all the knowledge. But would this field bring you joy? It's clearly in your strength column. But would it bring you joy to be in this field?
Are you asking me, or are you?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't sound very positive. It sounds pretty wishy-washy. So there are a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you've got to decide, if I'm really going to be in this field, I'm going to have to really align with it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep self-sabotaging and not allowing myself to pass the exam, because I'm going to prevent myself from receiving that golden ticket because I'm out of alignment with it. So you got to ask yourself, can I get 100% on board behind this profession? Or do I need to take everything that I've learned and apply it in a different way?
Okay.
Spend some time with Archangel Uriel, really digging down to the truth of that. Make sure that you've cleared out the limiting beliefs. Your I'm not good enough conversation is pretty prominent right now. You cannot move forward from I'm not good enough. And until you are really clear that this avenue is going to bring you joy, you're going to keep self-sabotaging. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do something similar and you never will throw away the information. That's not what I'm saying. I was educated as a teacher. I chose not to be in the classroom after some time because they changed all of the ways that you were allowed to teach. I am still teaching. I'm just not in the classroom. So everything I have learned, I am still using. I'm just applying it in a different way. That's what I want you to look at, because anytime I look at you, I see a question mark. I'm not sure I want this. And it's very difficult to move forward from I'm not sure. That doesn't mean you shouldn't move forward. It means you need to really have a moment to align with
Right.
your decision.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not that I don't want it. I'm not a person that wants to just do one thing. Like, I'm also interested in doing something totally different. Like running a food business kind of thing. So, like, I don't want to do one thing. I want to be able to do multiple things. And, I'm open to both of those that I want to do. I just have to, I'm just trying to figure out also, like, I want to move away and just get settled and be in a whole other environment. And, I want to know the right place for even both of my, careers I want to have. So, I have to look into where do I want to put my energy. It may be in the food business.
Exactly. The angels are saying, find your joy. Find the sweet spot, and this other learning that you got will be beneficial in the food business. It will help you in some way, either through contracts or, something. You'll need the knowledge that you have gained, but they want you to jump into the joy place. Find that first, and once you find that, everything will become clear. But until you find that, and until you give yourself permission to interact with it, you're going to keep running into one brick wall after the other.
Yeah, I'm ready to take some time off, like, considering all the stuff that's going on. And even if I plan on moving out of town, I wouldn't be able to, the next exam that I would be able to take is not until, like, next summer, not even this one, like maybe 2021. So I have a lot of time to just focus on my food, the food part, if that's something I want to do. But I definitely want to clear my feelings of unworthiness and deserving and, things like that.
Find the joy. That's your sweet spot. That will help you. And if you need help clearing those limiting beliefs, remember, you can always join my community, the Healing Hearts community. So you go to my website, Marcia Martin, thehearthealer.com. Marcia is spelled Marcia. And the community gives you an incredible amount of support, video support. Anytime the angels give me anything, I run there and make a new video and put that in, because I want you to be supported. So if you feel like you just need a little bit of guidance and you're really good with interacting with the angels or the energetic realm, but you could use some more guidance, that community is a real godsend for that kind of information.
Okay, I definitely will check it out. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And now we are over time, but I'm going to take one last caller. This caller is from 972. How can I help you?
Hello, this is old friend calling in. Speak with my old friend. How are you today? Much love.
I'm wonderful. What would you like me to call you?
My name's Old Friend.
Old Friend, okay.
Yeah.
Welcome. What would you like the angels to help you with on your road to recovery?
So much recovery, and I got a couple of years. I have my own car, and a couple of years of sobriety tips. You know what I'm talking about, in my pocket, and I recognize. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I love sobriety, and I love recovery, and I love peace and joy, and I love the earth, and I love good health, and I love happiness, and I love being around. I love being positive, and being around good people and people that have good intent, and all of the really sacred and loving gifts that we have here and share it together. So in my moment and opportunity, as I've been contemplating and reflecting and working on letting go, allowing myself the best that I can to really care for myself, and instead of in some ways putting my love out in the world, allowing myself to love myself. And I went to, with my dignity and not wanting to at all ever forsake the gift that Spirit has given me, an allowance to be here. Truly, Marcia, to be somewhere or get out somewhere somehow in a direction. This is what I'm. One of the things. Excuse me. Be in the right place and the right time, and for the right people and for the right race, and the survival and the truly growth and the potential that we all have here, and not for at all. And so I know I will cannot accept violence in my life and any type whatsoever. So I'm in pain over this, really. And because the world and life is so beautiful, like a bird flying by, or snow at the top of a mountain, and the trees. It's kind of where I start and end.
And I have to tell you, because now I recognize your voice, it's been a long journey that we've had together, and I hear in your voice, and the angels are supporting this, so much peace and so much growth. So congratulations to you for your sobriety and for not wanting to stay in the place of I'm recovering, but for fully stepping into the place of I am healed. Just drink that in for a minute. They want you to fully receive that. So I'm not sure that you are. So please receive that gift and continue just to be you, that beautiful, brilliant being that you are.
Thank you. Much love.
Much love to you. All right, everyone. This has been such a gift to share this time with you. But as always, we gotta go. So until I go, I want to encourage each and every one of you, if you feel that you want to connect more deeply with the spiritual realm, but you are missing tools, join my community. It is $7.77 a month. And as I said, I am putting more and more information in there. Now, as we grow larger, there will be an opportunity to participate at different levels that will be at a different price point. But right now, it's just $7.77. And my journey getting to this place meant there wasn't any money for ongoing classes or workshops. So I went to every library and I read every book. And I took classes when I could afford them. But now I am gifting you the knowledge that I have acquired and the journey that I have taken, because it was transformative for me. And it's available now to each and every one of you, because the angels, God, your creator, whatever you want to call the energetic realm, wants you to step into your greatness. So thank you so much for being here and bringing your greatness. And until next week, I'm sending you all my love.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.